Good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I want to encourage you that if you haven't had a chance to come out to our fall small group at Good Ground Church, there are only 2 weeks left to do so. So take advantage of this time to come together as a community for some discussion and most importantly, some time in the Word of God. So I just want to take a few moments to briefly recap what we talked about last night. This week we talked about the topic, two choices, two lifestyles. And the way that Willie Robertson broke this down was through a drawing on a whiteboard that was roughly divided in half. One half represented who we are before we meet Christ. And the other half represented who we are after we meet Christ. And the difference that he used to contrast these two paths was from Galatians 5. And I think for me, the thing that stood out maybe the most was the way that the fruits of the Spirit and the works of the flesh were broken down in the lesson. In Galatians 5, it talks about how there are two ways of life. There are the works of the flesh, things that we do when we live apart from God, and then there are the fruits of the Spirit, the natural outflow of what we exhibit as followers of Christ. And it's important to help guide others to see where they are on this diagram. You know, some people will be asked if they have a relationship with Jesus, and their answer is maybe, I don't know. And I don't know, it's kind of an odd question, right? If you ask if you're in a marriage, if you don't know, it's kind of you're in trouble, right? But seeing where they are on this diagram, it might help them understand how close or how far they are from Christ. And I think that sometimes we need to be presented with a picture before we can realize something. And that picture can be anything. It could be a picture of ourselves. It could be a diagram or some other means of demonstrating our current status. But the thing is, once we can visualize our status, often we can see where we're at and where we need to go. And when we put things into this perspective, it helps us see more clearly ourselves. And sometimes all it takes is to put things into perspective and to have a conversation with someone else in order to lead them on the road to finding Jesus. So we still have 2 weeks left in our small group, and my hope is that we will see you next Wednesday night starting at 6:30 p.m. Hope you have a great rest of your week.